Howdy, hi, and hello, chat, and welcome back to another one of those fantastic, super fragilistic, expialidocious videos where I talk at you a lot. Some might call it yapping, even. I call it sharing. And on this week's sharing episode of Terraria Tuesdays, we're going to be talking about a recommended conversation or topic. And basically, shout out Matt Kennedy for shouting this recommendation out last week. But we're going to be talking about my favorite PS2 games and maybe a little why they're my favorite. So get your special sock ready, nerds. We're taking it back to the dawn of game. So, like many other small little boys in my generation, when we were small little boys, we had obscure PS2 games. And I'm not just saying that because it's a meme. It's a genuine way to describe it. They were obscure. They were niche. There were literally hundreds of PS2 games. And if you asked two people in the same state, like, hey, what are your favorite PS2 games? Their answers would be entirely different. They might share one of the answers, but there were so many PS2 games, guys. Like, everybody had a different type of PS2 game. There are PS2 games I don't even know about until today when I see them on Instagram. I'm like, whoa, what? How did I miss that? It looks so fun. Also, for those of you who don't know this about Clipper Killer a couple years back at a retro gaming convention got a PS2 once again for a very good price. I say a couple years back, but I was definitely a teenager and it was definitely like a decade ago almost, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, ever since I've kept it clean and pristine and I've loved it a lot. And I think that there's a very high value in like going back and playing games that once used to make you smile, not just because they were graphically perfect, but because they just had the intention of being fun. And I think we kind of forget the sauce when it comes to modern day game developers. Speaking of that, I don't really like Crimson Desert that much so far, but I hear like a lot of people say that their first like 10 hours in, and then like they're like, dude, you just gotta give it like 25 plus hours and then it's good. But like, I don't know, I kind of fell off of it and have been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey again because of the Odyssey. I went to go see the Odyssey, it was fire. These are all topics for a different video. But basically, my favorite PS2 games might not be your favorite PS2 games, but we should talk about it, and you should let me know what PS2 games were your favorite down in the comments. And did you even play the PS2? Let me know. And also, do you guys want to become more special and more of a contributing factor to the channel? Well, you can decide the topic of conversation in these videos for the following weeks to come by leaving a little comment and being like, yo, Clip, you should talk about this. And if it's appropriate and something I have interest in, I will talk about it. Like this video, for example. And also like this video. Anyway, my favorite PS2 games, I'm done gatekeeping. And I don't think I can put them in order because like they were such like in a deep rotation back when I actually played the PS2. So I'm not going to rank them. But I will just say Spider-Man 2 on the PS2 is one of the best running PS2 games ever to come out, just saying. And then we have Grand Theft Auto, drumroll please, Vice City, not San Andreas. I know, I'm kind of crazy for this, but San Andreas just felt too generic for me. I don't know, like definitely not back in the day, but nowadays it's like, bro, I want to go back and play Vice City again. I don't want to go back and play San Andreas that bad. But I get the hype. And I just love, I don't know, I love Vice City, and I love the radio stations and the aesthetic of the like city, and the characters were so funny in that game. Oh my god, the writing was so golden. Vice City, like, if you guys never played it, like, go play it right now. I swear it's not dated. It's not too old. It's not too late. Yeah, that was the best. I think that's my favorite Grand Theft Auto. Like, Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 4, I think are the best Grand Theft Auto games for story content, like, hands down. I would literally fight people over this. But anyway, what I will say, so we got Spider-Man 2, Vice City, Next up, I'm gonna have to give it to, and I'm only gonna give 5, but there's so many. I'm gonna give it to Jack and Daxter, and I do want to make a separate video talking about this trilogy in particular because what a phenomenal, what a phenomenal series! What an original series to release on a PlayStation back in the day, bro. Like honestly, if you would have told me, if I knew nothing about gaming and you would have told me that this game released when it did, I'd be like, what? Like that's actual insanity. And when I was a little child, fun story, my first interactions with these games was my brother lying to me about a controller being plugged in and me thinking I was playing as Daxter. But did you know that these games are actually only single player? But I didn't know that. And when I found out, I actually threw the controller at his face. Anyways, next up, at number 4, we have to give it to, drumroll, infinite drum rolls. Are they still going? Are they still drumming? I don't hear them. Get them louder. It has to go to Marvel Nemesis, guys. Marvel Nemesis at number 4. Listen, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects was the perfect fighting game back in the day, and I think it still holds up against like modern day fighting games for real, for its like uniqueness and its world destruction, and it's just like fun factor, bro. Like the move sets all being super similar, but also always contributing different things and different powers from each of the characters is a very lit thing to experience. And choosing your path, like narratively through the story of which character you want to play at which time, is so much fun. Like they picked up the sauce and they dumped the entire sauce packet and they shook it up in their mouth and then they spat it back out at us and we were sauced up so good. I miss this game. I actually, when I pulled my PS2 out again after selling my PS5, I ordered Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects off GameStop.com because this is not a sponsor by there, but because I just needed it so badly and I forgot about it literally until I pulled out my PS2, and then it was like my phone was listening to me and they started showing me PS2 games that I, forgotten about and what have you. But yeah, such a perfect game, such a perfect fighting game, and such a perfect game to play with your friends and family. Anyway, next up on the list for the 5th spot, it's really gotta go to Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. That game, I just beat it like literally the other day in like a 2-day span, and its shortness is fine. I'm not even mad about it. It's crazy. Like I think it's the only game that is that short that I've been like, okay, I'm good now. I'm satisfied. It has replayability. It can get a little repetitive because like if you've watched the movies and you play the game, you're like, okay, there's only like one mission in the game that's actually different from the movie, which is okay, but it's just a little like, bro, where was the sauce with the storytelling? Anyway, it was a movie game and those were huge back in the day. But this one, it's honestly like a lot of people say that the King Kong game was their favorite movie adaptation game on the PS2, but I feel like the Lord of the Rings game will always hold true. It's like it's just such a fun thing to play. Like for some reason, it really gets it right. But even though that was 5, I cannot stop talking about my rankings without at least mentioning Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I played this game and I knew nothing about Mortal Kombat back in the day. Trust. This was my first Mortal Kombat game, and this game put me onto the lore. It put me onto the story. And when I first played this game, I was hooked. I was in it. I was in it deep. Like I literally beat the shit. Like 0 times to this day because it gets too hard. But I still try to beat that shit. And I started it again recently, but I just haven't had time to play it. I play like a million different games at once. In case you guys don't know, hi, I'm Clipper Killer. Welcome to the channel. Pretty much every video will be about a different game. It's very rare for me to make multiple things about one game unless we're like doing playthroughs. But speaking of playthroughs, guys, we're going to be doing those over on the Twitch full time now. I might not be playing through the entirety of a game, but we're streaming again. And if you're not over there on Twitch, on Clipper Killer 2 to follow me and watch those streams, you can't even call yourself a Clippy. and I want you all to be Clippies. And on that note, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications. If you guys want more content, if you guys want me to be motivated to keep pushing, I always will, fun fact. But if you want me to push even harder and faster, I can do that. But let me know. Totally off topic. But yeah, those are my favorite PS2 games from back in the day. There are probably tens to hundreds more that I could go on and talk about and mention. My catalog for PS2 games is the fattest catalog of games I've ever owned in my life. So yeah, are you guys still playing PS2? Do you guys want to get a PS2 again? Or are you guys feeling something even older or newer that's not really new gen? Let me know down in the comments, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your days. This has been another Terraria Tuesdays, and I will see y'all next week, most likely, with this same video.